Why is the cow's eyes really scary? Doesn't matter. We got a garden to make and grass to mow. Let's roll. We made some modifications to our shop. I just didn't like that bottleneck that the driveway made, and I also put up this carport. Behind the shed is where we are going to be building this garden plot. I have already set out the cones where I want the dirt lanes to be tilled up, and if you're wondering why it looks like Wally's first day on the job, that is because this is a lane, this is a combined lane, and then another one with this being a walkway in between. And then back here we will have a little garden shed along with pond, wheelbarrow with flowers, and the windmill that originally sat back behind my pool. We've done a couple of jobs around town, but we've taken the mower deck off because I also picked up this really cheap garden plow for the back of the 445. That is what we are going to use to till up the garden. However, we got to mow first, so I'm going to put the 60-inch deck back on. But my tools for this, I believe, are in the new backyard shed. The little Wilkers shed wasn't bad, but this came up on the market for a really, really good price. 25 by 10. Pretty much a glorified storage unit. I caved. I bought a golf cart. But we also invested in a cheap pressure washer to help with all of our anti-clean work. We still have the 4-tracks, our fertilizer buggy, seeds, fertilizer, and Johnny 45. I really need to get Johnny 56 out here. That would be awesome to get the little 56 lawnmower. You can never have enough lawnmowers. Backyard is looking really clean. We did a little bit of re-landscaping to get this place in its tip-top shape. And the yard, it kicks the neighbor's rear end. I mean, come on. It's the best yard you got. Now that I got my tools, I'm going to swap over that deck real quick, and we will get on with some mowing. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in to the Homeowners series. It is a pleasure to have you. If you like this series and would love to see more projects, you gotta let me know by heading down below and smashing that like button. Maybe even consider subscribing. If you missed out on last Homeowners, we ended up investing in our own lawn care company. This thing has really been an animal, but I'm slowly realizing I probably should have looked for a zero turn. The Public Works has been hard at it trying to get the approval to get the new shop built. Hopefully next episode we'll have more information on the progress of that situation. Just a heads up, the words BUCH'D Custom might sound relatively familiar. I'll be launching a secondary channel that will be dedicated to real-life projects like Johnny 56, Johnny 75, another rear-engine lawnmower, snow blowers, garden tractors, maybe even some four-wheelers, you name it. So if you'd like to see me in the flesh actually cranking on a motor, you gotta go and follow that channel. I'll leave that link in the description down below. Otherwise, let's continue to mow. I promise you I'm not trying to be Dr. Seuss. I just seen on the mod hub that the 330 garden tractor has now been released. It is a smaller series to the 445. I think out of the 3 iterations, this one still has to be my favorite. The really old 110, 112 being the 3rd variant. But if you've never really been around a garden tractor like this, it's amazing at how big it actually is. I would think that the 445 had a hydrostatic transmission, but what I'm surprised to see is that it doesn't have the independent right and left brake like the 317. If you know the reasoning behind that, let me know down in the comments. I'm always interested to learn more about engines, tractors, and anything mechanical. I'm definitely late to the gardening party, and if you've never been around a small town, everybody and their neighbor wants to give you their produce like a community flea market. It's amazing how much sweet corn gets tossed around. I'll have to run down to the home and garden store to buy me a water trailer so that way I can keep up on the fluids. Even though I'd like to just use the gardening hose, Farm Sim does not really work that way. I did look into the cost of getting a well dug with one of those Iowa hydrants. Getting in between these cones is going to be a nightmare because they do not move. I think I'll chop off this long section and just go back and forth for a little bit. We'll see you guys when we're ready to start hooking up the plow and making our new garden plots. Not quite done, but we are most certainly getting close. How many of you guys do garden yourselves or maybe with your parents? I grew up, we had a big garden in my backyard, and while we didn't always eat everything from there, it certainly was delicious. There is nothing like homegrown food you can pull out of your backyard. One of my personal favorites is that we had a rhubarb plant, so we make rhubarb crisp. You've never had that? Oh boy, you gotta go get some. That finishes up the mowing. Let's get the deck back off and throw the 3-point on so we can get the plow ready to dig. Oh yeah, we also ended up buying the boat from when we went boating over 4th of July. We never did buy the camper. I think it's only fair that we keep that strictly as a rental, for obvious reasons. We probably didn't need the front weights, but I feel that having that extra weight is going to help us in the long run. So let's get our plow stationed. And let's see how hard this is going to be to till up. Squeak our way around the cone. We're not really tilling up. There it goes. I was like, we're not really tilling up the grass like I thought we would. These aren't going to be very big plots, but they're going to be big enough that we can fit maybe 5 to 6 tomato plants, probably 3 vines worth of green beans or peas. You get the point. While I'm down at the hardware store getting the water trailer, I'm also going to be looking for some lumber. That way I can build up some sidewalls and get some more topsoil on top of it. Kind of like a planter box, but instead of just having that planter box depth, we're going to build up a big case around it so we can have topsoil on the top and then the regular ground underneath, but it does not have to really till through all of those really thick roots of this Kentucky bluegrass. This might sound really morbid, but it kind of looks like we're just tilling up a burial plot. I guess that's what happens when you're the son of a mortician, and that is an actual true fact. My dad is a licensed mortician. The soil's tilling up nice and smooth. While the soil is pretty clayey around where I'm at, we're not putting the plow very deep in the ground. We're really just kind of trying to rip out the grass roots. So when we build up the sides for the planter box, the new stuff can just dig straight in. There's our first half. Let's try and work on the back half. For you that always wonder what map we are on, this is Forest River, North Dakota, OS modding and mapping. You might think that because I have $3.9 million, why don't I just have everything in the world? Well, this series is shared with the Public Works series, so that is also the town funds that we use to help develop the Public Works shop. I'm just an average Joe, while I might have a little bit more money. Not all of that is mine. I like to clarify that in case there's any misconceptions. Technically, it's not that far of a drive to the hardware store. We might just load up on the ATV and haul the rest of the stuff home with that. That finishes up the garden plots. Let's head south. Where might we be able to find this? Pick up order for buck. I don't need a grill, don't need a propane tank. Yep, I think that's it. Holy crud, that thing's bigger than I thought it would be.
That's what she said!
I know this thing's supposed to be rated to haul a certain amount of gallons, but that's a little high up on the hitch. I seen a Yamaha Grizzly on Marketplace the other day for like $1,300. It looks exactly like this one, and I'm like half tempted to go buy this thing. It's a great way to do a tire change. We're pushing it, okay? We're pushing it, but I think we'll be able to make it. Hydrant's already on order, so let's get ourselves to the backyard and start working on the construction of the garden plots. We'll probably throw down another gravel pad that'll help us get back here, and I'd like to put up a fence around it to try and keep maybe some of the wildlife out. I know they can pretty much climb over it, but helps keep out the lazy ones. There should be enough of a potting soil, topsoil mix in order to get us started. Let's pop up in the sky and see what we can do. That is what our finished product is hopefully going to look like. I'll end up throwing wood chips as our walkway in between all of the different plots, but we all know this isn't going to build itself.
2 hours later.
Something tells me I'm going to be here deleting cones for a little while. And there it is. All of our garden plots have been built up. We're going to use the rest of the topsoil to fill in the tops of our plants once we get the gardening started. I never really made mention of this, but my good buddy McLean Modding ended up sending me this. It's pretty much the same ATV trailer I have in the shop, but it's got the sidewalls. And I do still have the little black trailer from the previous episode. keep our tools off to the side, but inside the little shack, we kind of got almost like a playhouse, preparational cleaning area, some extra shelving, a little light, and then comes my favorite place, the outdoor patio. Like I mentioned, we still got to lay down the wood chips for the ground, but again, another outdoor seating spot, grill, wish it was propane, but we'll deal with charcoal, and this is our windmill from the back half by the pool. I say let's get the plots filled up with the plants that we want to grow. I want to do carrots, peppers, beets, potatoes, strawberries, and tomatoes. Anything else? I guess we could do lettuce. They might look dead right now, but that is because we need to get the water. Trust me, I'm not that bad of a gardener. Only a little. Oh, that's really quick. Cool. I'll make this short and sweet. If you've never drinking water straight from one of these things, you're missing out. Just start dumping water. Plants are looking spiffy. Not sure where the best place to store this would be. Might just tuck it back up against this wall in front of me. How much more water does it need? Oh, we might be here a while. That should be plenty of water. Just a little bit under 39,000. Now it's just really down to building the pathway in the garden and the road to the garden. I can't get rid of these like weird looking gravel spots, but what I can do is lay down this really nice wood chip bed. I feel like it just gives a nice walking area texture. Just like so. Maybe continuing with the lighter gravel. We'll bring the road back to the shop and then divert off. I think that looks pretty much done. Just gonna extend this a little bit. I think that finishes out the garden. I will have to come back in and mow this. Let's grab our gravel and feed that out to the right for the water. And just nicely wrap it around the building. Looking good. I totally do not sound like one of those cheesy workout video instructors. And presto! Driveway to garden. Let's just grab the push mower since there's not much grass left to mow, and we'll finish out today's episode. I would like to thank everybody for checking out today's homeowners video. If you'd like to see more on this series or the public works, you can find the playlist in the top right-hand corner of your screen. The garden turned out spectacularly, and I cannot wait to eat my own homegrown vegetables. So remember to keep it light, keep it loose, keep it fresh, and most importantly, keep it fun. We shall see you guys all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.